everybody, it's Keira and welcome back to my channel. So we know in Formula 1 there are so many friendships across the grid, from Seb and Lewis to George and Alex to Lando and Alex to Sebastian and Kimi. We have so many friendships across the grid, but I don't think any of them quite compare to Pierre Gasly and Charles Leclerc. But the question is, how did they become friends and how are they so close? Because these two are literally best friends. They have done everything together, they have grown up together, and they're carrying on their journeys together. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking to you all about Pierre and Charles' friendship, how they became friends, what they've been doing with each other since being friends, and just stuff like that really, how they are friends. So if you do enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe to my channel down below. But let's just go back to the very beginning on how these two became friends. So Pierre Gasly was born in Normandy in France and Charles Leclerc was born in Monte Carlo in Monaco. So they were kind of doing similar karting championships and things like that when they were younger. Now, Pierre says that Charles and himself met in 2005. He says that he was about 9, so that makes Charles about 7 because he is about 2 years younger than Pierre. And he said that their parents got really close. So I think that's always quite a good thing, because when your parents get close, like, you want to go and do things together and you want to do holidays more, and that's exactly what happened with these two. Because their parents became friends, they actually became friends and they became more like brothers. They went on holidays together, they just done so much stuff together, and Pierre actually said one year he spent more time with Charles and his family than he did with anybody else. So it actually became like a brotherly friendship more than anything, and obviously still at such a young age of 9 and 7. So it wasn't until 2010, so 5 years later, that they first became teammates in karting. Now with this one, trying to research it, I got a little bit of conflicting information, but I definitely know that Charles Leclerc and Pierre Gasly done the Monaco Karting Cup, and they both raced for Sodi Kart. Now I don't know if the Monaco Karting Cup, whether the French karting championships are the same thing. I don't think they are, but I did also find out that they done the KF3 karting French championships, where Pierre won that season and Charles came runner-up. So straight away showing their dominance, showing their force, showing that they are two very fast drivers and they can also work together as teammates, because we do know about the issue that Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon have together, where they were really close friends when they were younger, but times on track really tested them. But I think the difference is the fact that Esteban and Pierre are kind of the same age, and I think they've done a lot of series together, whereas Charles was a little bit younger. So as Pierre would say here, Charles was always here. And he was always a step lower on the ladder. But if it was different and Charles was up there, would their friendship be this strong? Now, obviously we know that lockdown happened in the middle of March and the guys all flew out to Australia to do the Grand Prix. We all remember that time where we thought we were going to get this Grand Prix, then we didn't, then we did. We were up all night wondering whether this Grand Prix was going to go ahead, and eventually, inevitably, it didn't and everybody flew home. But Pierre Gasly actually got stuck in Dubai. He had to make the decision as to whether to stay in Dubai or whether to go home and maybe transmit something to his parents, because it was quite high in France at the moment, so he actually chose to stay with his trainer in Dubai. Now obviously he was literally in a hotel room for so long, for so many months in lockdown. He was stuck in this hotel room in Dubai. He had no simulator, so you know, when all the boys were doing Twitch and they were doing all these races for Formula 1 and for Veloce and things like that, Pierre could not get involved because he had no simulator. But he said to pass the time, him and Charles would play COD a lot, and I just think that's so nice, because he had his PlayStation there, and Charles made sure that his friend was okay, because it can be very claustrophobic, and you know, you can get quite down if you are just stuck in one hotel room. It's not like you could go out in the middle of the pandemic. You weren't really refined to your hotel room. So it is nice that Charles spent some time with Pierre over lockdown on Call of Duty and just, you know, kept his mind off it. And I believe they played with Lewis Hamilton as well. I think they do play Call of Duty quite a bit together, and also Fabio Quartararo, so it's quite nice to see that they have formed a little group. And Pierre actually did start, I think he must have been back in France now, he did actually start to stream when he used to play COD, but he literally must have done like 2 streams. Like, I remember being there like, oh my gosh, Pierre Gasly is gonna finally start Twitch now that he's home. It didn't really last, but it was quite fun. He had a little green screen behind him, you know, he had it all going on, but for like 2 streams. Now moving on to 2019, was a really difficult year for both Charles and Pierre when they lost their friend in Antoine Hubert. I can't begin to imagine how difficult that must have been for both of them. They both grew up with Antoine. He was part of their friendship group. And Pierre said to Charles before he went into that Belgian Grand Prix to win the race for Antoine, and that's exactly what he done. And you can't say that to anybody. You know, you can't have Kevin Magnussen going up to Lewis Hamilton saying, win this race for whoever, or do this for that. You have to have that bond and that connection as these two best friends do, to actually say something like that. And Charles said that really motivated him, and he actually then obviously did go on and win that race for Antoine. And I just think that's the nicest thing for Pierre, to really, you know, encourage him in just some small words, but actually it's done so much for Charles, and you know, he got his maiden Formula 1 win. And moving on to 2020, when Pierre Gasly has got his maiden F1 victory at Monza, Charles Leclerc had some lovely words to say over on Instagram after, and I'll actually insert a video here first of the clip where Charles actually retired from the race and he went over to his best friend and hugged him. And I just think it's the nicest thing, like for him to have made his way back into the pit lane to congratulate him. It's just, oh, it just shows how much best friends they are, and I love it. I really love seeing these two together. Like, it's so sweet, it's so pure. But anyway, on Instagram, and I think it's probably on Twitter too, Charles Leclerc posted a lovely picture of him and Pierre Gasly, and it read, so happy for Pierre though. What a drive. He deserves it so much. Enjoy it, my friend. Bravo, Calamar. And then there's a squid. So I don't know if that's an inside joke or what. I don't really know what that is. But I just think that's so sweet and that's so lovely. To actually dedicate a post to somebody just shows that, you know, you are such close friends and that you really support them, and they've just got a friendship like no other. Like, I am literally jealous. I would like a friend like them. Like, I would like a friend like them two are. And also, obviously, because of COVID this year, we haven't had the track parades because there's been nobody around the track, and also social distancing, etc, etc. But last year, when they do the track parades, obviously they sometimes they get on the cars, but a lot of the time they get on the big truck, and you will always see Charles and Pierre together. Like, they are always together. There's no two ways about it. They are always together, standing with each other, having a chat around the parade, and yeah, you're just not going to see them apart. So there we have it. That is it for today's video. I hope you did enjoy it, and I hope you learned a little bit more about Charles and Pierre. Basically, they have been friends ever since they were younger. Their families are really, really close. They support each other, and racing hasn't got in the way of their friendship, which I think is the most important thing. Unfortunately, with Esteban and Pierre, it did get in the way, but I'm really happy that with Charles and Pierre, they can still both be best friends and carry on their journey together. So if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. And yeah, I'll be back soon for another video. Goodbye.